Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said his country would buy military helicopters from the United States after cancelling a $215 million deal to buy 16 similar heavy-lift helicopters from Russia over concerns about sanctions following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Manila will also seek to get Moscow to return at least part of its multi-million-dollar deposit for the now-cancelled purchase of Russian Mi-17 helicopters, Marcos Jr. said, in his first public comments on a sensitive issue involving Russia. Then-President Rodrigo Duterte agreed to cancel a signed deal to buy 16 Russian Mi-17 helicopters due to concerns over possible Western sanctions, which could hinder the rapid transfer of income sent home by Filipino workers from the US and other Western countries to banks, Ambassador said Jose Romualde. The United States has now provided $100 million in foreign military funding, a portion of which the Philippine military can use as it sees fit, Ambassador Mary Kay Carlson said at a press conference aboard the USS Ronald Reagan, which was on a visit last week. Carlson added the Philippines could use the allocation to offset its decision to cancel a $12.7 billion, $227.35 million deal with Russia. Manila is looking to buy Chinook heavy-lift helicopters from the United States. A U.S. bid to sell Boeing CH-47 Chinooks has been discussed since last year by former Philippine Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana and his American counterpart. The Philippines has so far been the recipient of U.S. military aid, largest in the Indo-Pacific region, having received aircraft, armored vehicles, small arms and other military equipment and training worth $1.14 billion from 2015 to 2022. That includes $475.3 million. Foreign military funding to the Philippines, one of the largest in Southeast Asia. The new military funding underscores improved defense ties between the treaty allies under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., whose predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte, shifted his country's foreign policy away from the United States to seek warmer ties with China. Staunch critic of the US government leaning most of his foreign policy towards China weeks after ditching the idea of buying more than a dozen Russian Hellos, the Philippines is now considering purchasing and employing the US-made heavy-lift Chinook helicopters. The CH-47 Chinook is a tandem-rotor helicopter developed by American rotorcraft company Vertol and manufactured by Boeing. Vertol. The Chinook is a heavy-lift helicopter that is among the heaviest lifting Western helicopters. Its name Chinook is from the Native American Chinook people of Oregon and Washington state. Improved and more powerful versions of the CH-47 have been developed since the helicopter entered service. The U.S. Army's first major design on CH-47, which entered service. Staunch critic of the US government who tends to direct much of his foreign policy towards China purchasing more than a dozen Russian submarines. The Philippines is now considering purchasing and using US-made CH-47 heavy-lift Chinook helicopters. The Chinook is a tandem-rotor helicopter developed by the American helicopter company Vertol and manufactured by Boeing. Vertol. The Chinook is a heavy-lift helicopter that is one of the West's heaviest lift helicopters. The name Chinook comes from the Native American Chinook people of Oregon and Washington state have been developing stronger and more powerful versions of the CH-47 since the helicopter entered service. The US Army's first major design leap was the now commonly used CH-47D in 1982. The Chinook is an extremely capable and highly versatile support helicopter that can be operated from land bases or ships into a diverse range of environments, from the Arctic to the desert or jungle. The aircraft may be armed and is fitted with a suite of self-defense equipment allowing it to operate across the battlespace. Chinooks are primarily used for trooping, resupply and battlefield casualty evacuation, CASEVAC. With its triple-hook external load system, internal cargo winch, roller conveyor fit and large reserves of power, the aircraft can lift a wide variety of complex underslung or internal freight, including vehicles. It can carry up to 55 troops or up to approximately 10 tons of mixed cargo.